Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Night after night in the dark I'm alone, so find me a match of my own.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to Match Me Abroad Monday. It's Mary Payne here. I've got Keisha with me. As always, she loves to watch me sing my favorite song, Matchmaker from
I
Fiddler
don't
on the
even
Roof.
watch you anymore. I literally was on Amazon scrolling, like looking at dresses for my trip in August, and I already know what you're doing over there. So I'm like, I see it every week. So just scroll and start online shop while you're doing it.
That is not nice.
And she gets so much joy out of it, guys. Like every single week, she does this little dance. She's smiling. She just
I love it.
loves everything about that damn song.
I love it. And you know, it's going to make me so sad in 4 episodes after this that then it'll be done because it's going to be 13
Yeah.
episodes. We're on episode 9. We were just trying to do
That's
the
crazy.
math because we're like, no way we're going to have to do 3 episodes of Match Me Abroad and Love After Lockup on a Monday. But yes, it is true. That is going to happen. So that's okay. For now, we just have Match Me Abroad, and that's all right. And that's all right. And so, Love After Lockup, you just told me just now before we came on that you had some scoop. What is it?
Yes, I was on the Reddit,
Mhm.
and our favorite person, Destiny, from Sean and Destiny.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So she has this post up, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's basically asking people for money so she can reunite with her 6 children. Because due to some kind of stalking and abuse, she had to flee away. And now she's trying to get, wants to be reunited with all these kids. And because her not being with them would cause all this emotional and physical trauma and all those things. So we're like, okay. But then there's screenshots of her gambling, and she just won like $12,000 3 months ago. And now she's on here begging for more money. Same old Destiny.
Same old Destiny. She hadn't changed.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Listen, okay, so the 6 kids. Now we know the last one. So what's the deal with the first 5? Didn't she say like 2 live with the grandma and 3 live with the ex?
They were all separated. Like they were with different relatives. But I can't remember the baby that she had while she was on the show. Was that number 6 or was that number 7?
I think that was number 6. And that husband, remember, came to the hospital and he seemed pretty cute. But the next thing you knew, he was in jail too. Whoops.
Yeah. So now she not only wasn't raising the other 5, but now she doesn't even have the 6th baby. What was his name? Leaf or something like that? I think so.
River?
I think it was Leaf.
No,
Like
come on now.
Leif. I'm 95% sure his name was Leaf.
Like Leif Garrett?
I don't think that's who she named him after, but she did name him Leaf.
All right, somebody come at us. We don't really care. We do hope for the best for the children. I don't know about her so much and her scribble scrabble on her chest. Remember she had that scribble scrabble on her chest? Looked like somebody just got like one of those spirographs. Remember that we used to have when we were little, put the pen in and then you go around and around. That's what looked like happened on her chest.
And remember when stupid Sean was like, is it my baby? It's like, you idiot. You haven't seen her in a year. No, it's not your kid. It's Sean.
Oh, yeah, you're like the math doesn't math, Sean. Aren't you supposed to be the richest man in Las Vegas? You're a manager of a auto body part shop or whatever. Speaking of 6 kids, he's got 6 kids too.
Yeah, but I think he knows where they all are.
He does.
I'm not sure if Destiny does or not, because she crazy.
Oh, God.
So
was she posting somewhere or was she posting on Reddit asking for money?
No, I think it was like on her Instagram page. She was asking for money. Yeah. I wasn't shocked at all. I was more shocked that she'd won $12,000.
Well,
3 months ago. It's like, damn, girl, where
just
you
like in a
gambling
slot
at?
machine, like a slot machine or something.
That's what it looked like. I'll have to send you the screenshots when we're done so you can see it. Yeah.
Well, that's when I go to Vegas. It's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit at the slot machine jogger and be like, BravoCon's on day 3. I'm gonna be like, I'm right here. It's gonna hit. I know it. I know it.
I like never gamble when I
Never.
go. I
You don't
think
even
we
go
did
like
one time.
I'm gonna do like $20, and if I lose it, I lose it. Or like
Yeah,
say, yeah,
yeah, like the last time we did that, like at the airport, little slot machines.
yeah.
But no, because I want to go to the Louis Vuitton store. I want to go to dispensaries. I want to spend my money at those places instead. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I keep trying to not buy things on the Real and other not an ad. Wish it was. Keep trying to send things back, and I'm
Mm.
really trying to be really good because I am going to Paris, and
Oh, that's right.
I will be shopping there, and I'm also going to be looking for thrift stores in Paris
Oh,
because
that would be. I love a good thrift store. Like I
I
love
do
antique
too.
stores, all that. I cannot imagine what you're gonna find in Paris.
I know. I'm already so excited about it. I've got so many things between now and then that are more important. Um,
Mm.
but I just keep thinking about that, and I need to just. And these people that go on these trips, especially this week on 90 Day Before the 90 Days, Christian goes to see Cleo in London, and then this new girl Statler is going to see her girlfriend in London, and I'm like, ooh! So now I'm trying to like look out for things in London that they're doing. Like I'm going to spot it and like write it down and go to these places.
You might. You
I
never
might.
know. You might. What was that person's name again? Stantler?
Statler. Statler.
You.
That's her name.
I
It's
can
a.
dig it.
She's from Texas. It's a
I can,
southern
maybe that's why I
situation.
can. Okay, maybe that's why I'm like I can dig it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's from Irving, Texas, and her name
Okay.
is Statler, and she has a girlfriend in London. Her name is Dempsey. So the two of them both have real
Whoa.
sort of what's happening here names. Yeah, both of them do.
I don't know how I feel about the Dempsey. Is that a nickname
Dempsey.
or is that her government name?
I think that's her London government name. I don't know.
Wow. That's I don't. That sounds like that kind of a dog's name a little bit. Come here, Dempsey.
Well, all right, let's get off this topic before we get ourselves in trouble again, Keisha. Oh my gosh.
As we often do.
Well, some of us do.
I
Some of
do.
us.
It's
You
all
do.
it's me. Yes, yes it is. If she had control of my mic, she would just press a button and turn it off whenever I just start.
Like
That
a
would make
cough
life
button.
easier.
Like
Yeah,
a cough button, but a mute button
yeah.
for Keisha.
Mute Keisha button. Yeah, I'm sure producer Ingrid would appreciate that greatly. Like, oh, thank God, making my life a lot easier over here.
Igor's like, when you talk to Keisha, and if there's something you think is questionable, just let me know. Just let me give it a listen. Don't just assume it's fine. I'm like, all right. All right.
I think we all know now. I think we all know.
Oh, God, Keisha, that's why we love you. All right, let's get into this show. Match Me
Hmm.
Abroad, Season 1, Episode 9. Why shouldn't I want the best? I can sing
Yeah.
it for you, but I won't. So,
Thanks.
you're welcome. Let's get started with Michelle and Dr. Michael. And so we start where she's still on the date with Dr. Michael. And of course, all I can
Mhm.
think about now when I'm looking at her is how she has so many teeth, since you said
Yeah.
that last week.
I mean, you can't miss them.
She's very toothy smile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does. It's growing on me, I guess, but it's a lot of teeth.
I did like her more this episode than I have. I did.
I did too, and if you notice, I was right about that guy.
In what way?
I said he was really just concentrating on his baking last episode. You have to when you're baking, or you'll have a soggy cake.
Yeah, look what happened. The some of it kind of flaked off, and he's like, "We'll cover it with icing." He panicked a little bit.
Because that was when she was trying to talk to him and ask him questions, and he messed up a little bit.
He didn't spray the pan like he was supposed to, or butter it
He forgot
properly, or
that.
whatnot. Whatever you do
But
in
it
the
looked
baking
good.
process.
It looked
It does
good,
look
though.
good.
I wanted a bite.
Did look good. So we're still on this date with Dr. Michael, and they're having a rum drink. And they're like, oh, yeah, have a rum drink. And so she asked him if he's ever dated a patient or been tempted to date a patient. And he says,
Hmm.
no, I've never done it. But yeah, I have. Yeah, I have thought about it. I have been tempted, but yeah. And she says, do you hate that question? Like, after a certain age, why are you single? Like, I get that a lot. And he says,
Right.
well, women get that a lot because of biology. But
Hmm.
in Czech Republic, we have a saying that means like love at first sight or when it's meant to be. And she says, "Well, I don't know. I believe in lust at first sight." And but there has then she's and of course he's like, "Oh, panic!" And
Right? She's gonna jump my bones.
I
She's
know
gonna
she. He,
try to.
well, I think she's right. I think he loosened up with that rum.
He
I think he
did,
did.
most definitely. His personality came out. He's
Uh
cute.
huh. He's very
Yeah.
handsome,
Yeah.
and he could have taken that hat off at some point. That would have helped.
He could bake my cake anytime he wants.
Uh-oh. All right. And then she says, I believe in lust at first sight, but there has to be something there that makes me want to talk to them, like holds my interest
Hmm.
to make me want to talk to them more. And
Yeah.
he says, well, so if you had a physical attraction to somebody like that chemistry thing was there, would you date them if nothing
Mhm.
else was there? And she goes, no, it has to be like mental, emotional, you know. So I was like, that was an interesting question that he's like, so you wouldn't, so I can't just call you for a booty call if we don't get along. That's, I guess, what he was asking.
Is that I took it totally the other way. I thought she meant like if there's not sexual chemistry from the jump,
Hmm.
I'm out. And I thought he was kind of questioning her about that.
I think he was trying to say like, so if there's sexual chemistry, but there's no like emotional connection, you wouldn't keep seeing them. And she was like, no, I wouldn't. Like it has to be an emotional connection. The physical doesn't really matter. Hmm.
Hmm. I don't know
Hmm.
if I believe her.
I mean,
I don't know.
everybody needs a booty call at age 33. So,
Right?
is that how old she is? 34.
But
So,
okay.
yeah. So, anyway, he says, "Oh yeah, you have to agree with the person's temperament and personality."
Hmm.
And she says, "It's interesting because Katerina told me Czech men are more traditional, and I wonder like if you're into that." And he says, "In my mind, that means that traditionally the man goes to work and the woman stays home to be a homemaker. But I'm
Hmm.
not really into that. I think it should be equal, and that's why I taught myself to do everything like cooking, etc. Because like
Yep.
I don't have to believe in these defined roles."
He got all the points with that.
Oh my gosh, she was like, "Well, I already
Yeah.
thought you were hot, but now mentally we have connected." Yeah.
Yes.
So she does cheers to that and she says she's so happy to hear that and that was like a total turning point in the night and like
Right.
what she thought of him and now he was not concentrating on the cake and everything.
Yeah.
So the cake comes out and he's trying to get it out, trying to shake it out and she like hits the top of it. And of course, he
Yeah.
did. He was like, hey, it's my cake over here, lady. And she's like, I helped. And he was like, yeah, you fucked it up. So
Yeah.
it comes out and it's not, it's like a bundt cake and it's not perfect, but he's like, we can cover it with icing. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
don't know
She's
if I
like, all
was
right.
hungry when I watched this because that cake looks so. Just you talking about it right now, my mouth is watering a little bit because I wanted a bite of that cake. Just looked
Yeah.
moist and
But they were eating it like when
fluffy.
it was like they were eating it when it was hot too, probably for the scene. But it's like better, really, it's better for it to cool and then ice it when it's not hot. And, but they were probably doing it all because they had limited time in this tester kitchen or whatever.
Well, my greedy ass would have most definitely taken a bite out of that hot cake.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. So he says outside in his hat, in his little ITM, he says, in the beginning, I was more focused on the cake and the baking than Michelle, but I'm happy I made a connection and it was more fun than I thought. It was really fun. And
Hmm.
then for some reason inside, he puts on some red sunglasses.
I don't
Were
know.
they transition lenses? You can't be a
They
doctor and
they
be
they
wearing those
didn't look
transition
like it.
lenses.
No,
They were
I
just
I
red
don't.
sunglasses.
Maybe he just did it for the camera. I mean, he looked good in them. So maybe he wanted her to see his cool sunglasses, Mary Payne.
Mm,
Stop trying to ruin
turned
their date.
turned me off.
Oh boy.
Turned me off. Turned me off.
I don't like transitional glasses.
No, like freaking Lydia
Mm.
on Chantel and Love in Paradise. She's
Uh-huh.
always walking around with those transition lenses, and we're like, "Girl, it's making you look like you're 100 years old."
Yeah. There's something about them. Like I used to have students that would wear them. I'm like, you look like an adult with
You look
those
so
on. Hey,
crazy.
hey,
Yes.
you're in 5th grade. Like, I don't know what it is about them. Just it does age you. You're absolutely right.
My dad had those transition lenses, and for at least one of my, maybe both of my sister's wedding pictures, his glasses are slightly tinted,
Oh no,
and I'm
really?
like, why didn't somebody tell him?
Take those off.
Look so stupid. Just take them off. So, because I think that was a thing back then.
They were
So
pretty hot, yeah. For a minute,
hot
they were
item.
very popular. Yeah.
So let's see. Then I've just had all caps transition lenses. So then he says, you know, he would like to see her again, and he does think
Hmm.
they connected on a lot of levels. And she says she would like to see him again too. So the next day, she goes to meet with Katerina, and I liked this look she had because she had like all black but like
Yes.
real red lipstick. It was a good look.
Yes. Yes, it did. Yeah.
And she is telling Katerina that she liked him a lot. And she's hoping that like they started building this chemistry, and she'll have to see with like a second date if the chemistry will build. And she
Hmm.
definitely wants to go out with him again. And Katerina says, "Well, I'm going to let you listen to a voicemail that he sent me about you." Which I was like, "Is that ethically right? Should she do
I
that?"
was wondering the same thing. I'm like, did he know that she was going to play this for Michelle?
Yeah, that's because I would have been like,
Uh,
"Oh, I don't know if I want to hear that." So
yeah.
he says he wanted to thank Katerina for setting him up with Michelle. She's warm hearted and vibrant and a great woman. He's really happy, and he, wants to see her again. So yeah, so Michelle goes, yeah. Now Michelle's been there exactly like 2 days, and she goes,
Yeah.
yeah. Next thing I got to do, I got to see if we're sexually compatible because it's not going any further. And
Yeah, she's kind of big on that.
Katerina's like, you Americans, like
Yeah.
she goes, it's a little fast. That's a little fast.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I don't have a long time here. I got to find out. She says, you have to get him emotionally naked and find
You
out.
do. Yeah.
Now, this obviously was being set up for something because she's saying this. It seemed so out of left field. And then she
Mm.
says, how would you do that to get someone to pour their heart out to you? How would you do that? And she says, well, I would have to take him out of his comfort zone. And then Katerina says, I have just the thing for your next date.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so set up.
You catch on
Uh,
to it every time, Mary Payne, and I fall for it every single damn time. You're
Mm-mm.
so right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katerina wouldn't have said, you need to get him naked, emotionally naked. She wouldn't
Yeah.
have said that. So
You're
they're going
right.
to go to some kind of spa where they have to paint their bodies with mud or something, don't you think?
Something way out of left field that he probably is not going to enjoy
Right, right.
at all.
So Katerina's like, I'll choose the location of the next date. Stay tuned. It's wherever we can film during COVID. So that's that's the end of those two.
Maybe they'll go to a sewer. Like, what did Harold go to on his day? I can't remember. A water tower.
There's a
Maybe
water
they'll go to
treatment
the
plant
sewer. Yeah.
where the
Guess we'll
water
see.
comes in. The sewer water gets treated to be recycled into your
Yeah.
drinking water. Yeah.
I don't need to know that.
So speaking of Harold, let's move on to Harold.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
So Harold is so cute. So he picks up his phone in his room the next morning and he calls Michaela. His phone says, Michaela, lovely.
Of course. I'm
Oh,
surprised he didn't have a piece of artwork to go along with it.
I
Like for when it
know.
pops up. Oh,
I
Harold.
know.
Oh, you know what? Real quick.
What?
Someone did like zoomed in to the orchid that he drew, like some of his artwork.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And they're so right. It totally looks like female genitalia. Or like
I,
it looks like a urethra. Yes.
uh-huh. Uh-huh. A lot of
I was
flowers
like,
do, though. You know.
it really looked like it, Mary Payne. I was like, ew, for a moment.
Which picture so I can go back and zoom in on it? Do you remember?
I think it was the one that, because he drew the first girl a rose, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
So it has to be the one for Michaela.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Ew. All
Mhm.
right.
I know I said
Well,
ew. It's like, oh, I didn't need to know that one, but that's all I can think about. Like, ew. But
it's
yeah.
just going to get worse for you from here on out because he says, you know, I can still feel her lips on mine, so it
Mm-mm.
can't be a dream. And she says she lives a few hours from Prague and she's leaving today. And do you want to come with me to yoga? Now, we were under the impression, of course, that they were like in a yoga class, but it's just the two of them out in a public park. And
Yeah.
She says, "Do you have the clothes for that?" He goes, "I do. I have a brown shirt and brown shorts that are soft and stretchy that will be
Mhm.
perfect for yoga."
Yeah.
So bless him.
I would have said,
So
"No, I don't have clothes for yoga. Meet me at a restaurant so we could go eat and drink." I'm not doing anything outside, exercise, I walk in a park, none of that on a date.
she's a real yogi. Like she's not
Yes, you
just
can
out here
tell.
like stretching. She's like knows her shit. Yeah.
For real. Yeah.
So they get there and she goes, "We're going to start with breath exercises." And he's like, "Okay." So then she goes and leans her bony body up against a tree and says something. And then she pushes him against a tree face forward.
Yeah.
And he is so uncomfortable. He's like leaning his head back so his face doesn't go right into the bark. And
And then
she
that
is like,
green algae looking stuff on there too. But I'm like, can we find another tree, please? Like, this is just a little bit much for me right now.
it was, listen, I've been to a lot of yoga classes. Now, I've never been to like a hippie outside one, but she is
Mm,
like pushing into his back, like pushing his sternum into the tree.
yeah.
And then every time he's like, "Oh, okay, well, huh?" She's like, "Don't talk."
Yeah.
No
And usually they're like, okay, let's go at your own pace. Let's
Mhm.
breathe. What's comfortable for you? This was like Czech Republic yoga right there.
Yes, it was.
What's what we're used to here in the States at all. That was a little bit of abuse. I'm like, I feel abused a little bit. Like, she was doing a lot. After the scene, I was tired. I felt like I'd gone through her yoga course. Like, it was intense.
He was drenched in sweat, that poor
Yes.
thing.
Yep.
So if the whole thing is odd, and he says, "Well, she pushed me against this tree," which was interesting, but she's a take charge Czech woman, which is what I wanted. So
Mhm.
okay, huh? So they sit down, and she's doing the thing where you just push up and balance on your
Yeah.
hands and all this. And then she says outside, she goes, "Well, he could be more flexible, but I've seen worse, but not too
She's
much worse." Yeah.
she's seen me because I would have cracked both my wrists trying to do that little move that she was doing. I'm like, next.
No, my
No,
wrist
thank
won't
you.
do that. Mm-mm.
No. Mm-mm.
So then they're on the ground and she's showing him some of her moves and she is like behind him trying to turn. And this is sometimes yoga teachers will sort of like push you into a move. And
Hmm.
that's what she's doing to really stretch him. And she's really into the stretching part of it. And he's like, she's twisting me and turning me, and my
Yep.
guts are really bothering me because I'm nervous and I'm fighting through the pain, but I'm trying to make it. He's basically saying he's trying not to toot
Yeah.
or poop his pants. Yeah.
And that sometimes does happen in a yoga class. And again, she was not sensing his discomfort at all.
No, she was like, "You will stretch in this way if it's the
Yeah.
last thing I do." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Even if
he
we crack
says,
a rib.
oh, so he says he's fighting through this pain because he wants to know if she feels the same way about him. And they're showing him, and she can't see him, right? Because the way she's twisting,
Right.
he is making those faces. Like you said, he reminds himself to smile. So he's making those
Hmm.
faces of pain and is like, he's trying to do that smile at the end because he's like, "Oh, ow, this is no, nothing to see here. Nothing to
Because
see."
he's still trying to impress her and I guess the camera too. But I've been like, hold up. We cannot continue to do this. Is there EMS on standby out there? Because I may need a little help right there.
Poor thing. So
Yeah.
they get done and she's like, "Does it hurt? Did I hurt you?" And he's like, "Yes, but I'm okay. It was great." He's drenched in sweat, happy he's wearing brown pants because he doesn't know what's about to
No.
happen.
What am I, bitch? You were trying to kill me a few seconds ago. Like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay at all. And
I
he
mean,
had
she's
seeds. He had seeds, he said. He had eaten some
oh, he'd been
seeds.
eating seeds, yeah, because he's trying to be
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not good for diverticulitis, Harold. So she says, "Well, I've got to catch my train." And she says her town that she lives in is a lovely small town and it's 2 hours from Prague. She'll be working 12 hours a day at the spa, but her day off is Monday. And he goes,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's interesting because I'm free on Monday too." And then she goes, "Well, we'll see because I spend the 3 days at work and then after that I'll need to clean." And so
Right.
he goes, "What about Tuesday?" And she goes, "Okay, Tuesday's great." And I was like, "But is she off on Tuesday?"
That's what
I'm
I was
confused
wondering
about I'm confused
too.
about I'm confused
Me
about her job.
too.
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I was like, wait a minute, how's she gonna what? What I was trying to calculate. I'm like, something doesn't make okay. I don't know.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
understand 'cause she said she's a receptionist at a spa. So
Mm-hmm.
assume the spa is open 8 to 8. Like maybe it's in a resort, right? So it's
Yeah.
open 8 to
Okay.
8.
Yeah.
So she gets home, she eats her dinner, goes to bed, and does it all over again. But she's got time to clean a little bit to get ready for Harold to come on Monday. But no, she said Tuesday.
Yeah.
She said
I
Tuesday.
don't know.
She's playing hard to get. So
Yep.
he says, well, she goes, okay, that sounds good. And I can show you my flat, the house, my garden.
Mhm.
I can show you my city. And he says, oh, well, while I'm there, I'm wondering like if I can meet your family. And
Ugh.
she says, sure, why not? He goes, oh, in
Ugh.
America, it's like such a big deal. It's so weird if you want to meet the family. And she goes, why not? And he says, well, I love how open you are. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
And she says, but nobody speaks English, so good luck. So
Right?
So then he says, how do you say boyfriend in Czech?
Mm.
And she goes, no, there's no word. It's, whatever. It's the same word for friend. He goes, oh,
Right.
it's not a word for boyfriend. She goes, no. And he goes, oh gosh, well, in our language, we have so many words for boyfriend, girlfriend, baby mama,
Baby.
whatever. I was like, baby mama,
That was
what?
funny. She's not my girlfriend. That's just my baby mama. So,
I was like, what? And
so do
she
you
just
think
looks
she's
at
telling
him.
the truth about the word?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even
Because she
think
had
about
a
that.
weird look on her face when she was saying it. So I was like, is she telling the truth? Or
I
I'm
think she's
sure someone
also
who listens to the show is Czech and they'll let us know.
Yes, I'm sure they are. And she would, I don't know if she's telling the truth. I think she's probably just like, no, we just say friend and it's obvious that we're dating, whatever. She's like, duh.
Yeah.
She's being kind of harsh with him and I like it. So she says, he's a really nice person. We had a nice date. It was romantic,
Mhm.
the other date. And I'd like to be with him. I want to know more about him. And I'd like to know what's in the future, but who knows? So he
Right.
says, all right, is it okay if I walk you to the train station? She goes, yeah, fine, whatever. I was like, is she getting on the train in those sweaty yoga clothes, those 2 mats under her arm? Does she
Yeah.
only bring a backpack with her?
For a 2-hour long ride? Ooh.
And how long was she in
Mm.
town? Like 2 days or 3 days? And she only brought that backpack?
I was thinking maybe it was just for the weekend for the date.
Maybe she just is one of those people that can really travel light and will just like use the stuff that's in the hotel and not bring anything with them. And I'm just like the opposite. I'm so high maintenance.
Me neither. Like 3 bags.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
bad. On this little 2-day trip Ingrid and I just went on, which was just like an hour from here, I took what would be considered like a small carry-on bag on an airplane, and that's all
Mhm.
I took.
Mhm.
And Ingrid goes, we go to New York and stuff for 3 days, and I'll have a bag 6 times that size.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ingrid, look, I packed everything in this tiny little bag, and I didn't like pack any options for outfits. Like, these are
Oh
the outfits, no
wow.
options. This is what I'm wearing. And she's like, good for you. She said, my whole family will go to Europe for 2 weeks. And the goal is no checked luggage, just to carry on.
I can't. No.
I said,
I don't.
girl,
How does anyone even do that?
I said, if you're there for 2 weeks, how do you,
Mm-mm.
does the house that you're staying in have laundry? Can you wash your clothes? Are you like washing them in the sink and hanging them out the window? Like, how do you wash your underwear and stuff? She's
I
like,
don't know how you do that.
they literally bring like enough underwear and then like 5 interchangeable outfits. And she's like, we make it a goal. And I was like, okay, we are going to be going to TJ Maxx and buying a matching set of 4 giant pieces of luggage when we go on our European trip. And we'll probably buy another suitcase and bring it home because we'll buy so much shit while we're there.
Yep, exactly. And I got to have options. I
I got to have
mean,
options. You put it
I
on,
got to
you're
have
like, oh,
options.
this doesn't look as cute as it did last
Yeah.
time.
I
Mm-mm.
got to have shoe options. And every time we go somewhere, I buy new panties. I don't know why I do it. I just feel like I have to.
And then what do
Every
you do?
single time.
Do you throw them away or do you bring them home and wash them and now you have 400 sets of underwear?
I bring them home and wash them.
Mm.
Every time we go somewhere, I have to buy new panties. It's
Hmm.
just this thing that I do, and I don't know why I do it.
Okay, well that's okay. Some people buy new underwear to travel and then like throw it away in the hotel and don't even bring it home. And that's weird too.
Oh, that's kind of wasteful right
It
there. They're
is. It
new
is.
panties. I'm
I
bringing them home and
know.
washing them. Huh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, well that took a sidebar. So,
Yes, it
all
did.
right. All right, so they're at the train station and they're saying goodbye with her one little backpack and he says,
Mhm.
okay, and they give a little awkward kiss, a little, and they
Yes.
take a selfie and do an awkward kiss. And as she's walking through the door, he's like, okay, bye, bye. I'm going to go to my hotel and dream of you. And she's like, okay. So she's sort of like, all right. Weirdo. So
Yeah, she kind of looked at him a few times like how we look at him when he says something that's cringy, but he's so lovable, but it's still kind of like, that was slightly uncomfortable, but carry on. Carry on.
but he is so cute. Like he is a nice looking man. And like
Yeah,
even when he was in his hotel room and his hair was all kind of messy, I was like, he is very boyish and cute.
he is.
So he tells us, I need to think of a grand gesture to show her how I feel
Oh
about
boy.
her for the next time I go to visit. I'm really going to have to think about if I'm going there on Tuesday, I've got a couple of days. So I'm going to think of a really grand gesture. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah, I think we all just kind of paused when he said that. Like a pause of fear, like don't do it.
I know. I know. So, all right, now let's move on to Natalie.
Mhm.
Now I don't know if this is we're not going to see her again in the next 4 episodes because when I spoke to her,
Mhm.
she all but said she hinted very strongly, and you can go listen to the episode from last week
Mhm.
of my interview with her. She really indicated that she was in a relationship with somebody now and acted like it was somebody that she met in Colombia.
Yeah, it's Juan Pablo.
It is not Juan Pablo.
It is.
It is not. And
How do you
it's
know?
well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could send her a
Oh,
DM. I could send her a DM and ask
okay. Okay, so you
her.
don't know. Okay, so there is a strong possibility. Look, that is her true love right there. I'm telling you, it's him. It's him.
All right, Natalie, if you're listening to this, send me a DM and let me know if that's true.
Mhm.
Because I got the feeling, because I was like, is your mom currently still trying to set you up? And she kind of was like, no. And she kind of was like, because, well, anyway, she giggles.
Uh-huh.
And she
I'm
did
telling you.
really, she acted to me like this Alejandro with the weird ear piercing was her guy. But she also said she went on a super fun date with another guy named Alejandro that was also a DJ, and they never showed that date. So
I
maybe
wonder why
that's
they
her
only
guy.
show 2 of her dates.
I don't know. She was like the
Interesting.
guy, the second DJ named Alejandro was like super fun. We had a great date. I don't know why they didn't show it.
Hmm.
And she did say like they went out drinking a lot and stuff. And I know we now know that TLC doesn't like them to include much about drinking. I have found
Right.
that out now twice. I've had to clip things out of episodes where
Yeah.
cast members refer to drinking. So maybe that's why.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Well, all right, Natalie, reach out to me. So
Mhm.
she's at a coffee shop. She's waiting to have the second date with Alejandro with the ear
Mhm.
piercing and that she went to the botanical gardens with. And she says, he really does have a lot of the things I'm looking for in a life partner. So I'm very excited to go on a second date with him.
Mhm.
So Juan shows up and she's like, hi. And he goes, are
Yeah.
you wondering why I'm here? And she says, yeah. And she goes, Alejandro canceled? He didn't want to come? And she goes, no, he didn't feel the connection. I was like, oh,
I
this is
was really
harsh.
surprised. Like, why did he set up another date then?
Right. Why did he say he was coming and then didn't show up?
Yeah. That was fucked up. I felt
Weird.
so bad for her, and I I wasn't when they showed us the previews of Juan walking into the restaurant, I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to because this guy wasn't going to show up. I
Right.
really didn't.
I thought he was coming to like say like, I can't wait to tell you guys about your next date and then
Yeah.
leave. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt
Weird.
so horrible for her. That's so embarrassing.
It is. But she handled it. She handled it
She
like a
did.
champ. And she
Yes,
looks
she
so
did.
pretty. She looks so pretty. I thought,
I mean,
oh,
she's a damn rock star. I mean, her face card passes every time. She's got a rocking body. I
uh-huh.
mean,
She's
all
cute.
she doesn't need anyone, but she only needs Juan Pablo. That's it.
Okay. You're really trying to make it happen. Juan Pablo is probably married with 4 kids and you're out here trying to ruin his marriage.
Or he could be
Um,
single and looking to
or he could.
mingle. Mhm.
So she says about Alejandro, she says, we were pretty different in some ways, especially the spirituality thing. But I
Mhm.
really did think he was so nice and we had a good vibe. So I am
Right.
disappointed. And then she says to the camera, how can it be this hard? Like, how could I have gotten this so wrong? Like, I can't believe I got it so wrong, you know?
We feel the same way, Natali. Like we
Yeah.
were all
Yeah.
shocked. Yeah. Hmm.
So she tells Juan, the Colombian guys are super nice. Like, I'm having a great time. And even if I don't fall in love, I'm having a wonderful time in this country. She told me that she loves to travel. And, he starts talking to her about enjoying her youth. And she needs to
Hmm.
talk to her mom when she gets home about living her truth and not being set up with the Sri Lankan guy. And
Right.
she says, yeah, I know I need to learn to balance the two things in my life. But, I'm taking this as an opportunity to focus on myself and travel around and see the country. And I love the culture. I'm going to travel a little bit on my own, and I'm on a journey of self-discovery. So that's
That's
why we get the
awesome.
feeling that like we're never
That
going to,
she's done. Yeah.
yeah. Huh.
I don't know. I don't know. But that's the confidence that I want her to have all the time. Right there.
Hmm.
Because you know what? I would have had a mental breakdown in that little coffee shop if Juan came and told me that the guy I was supposed to have a date with totally ghosted me. Like, I would have been
I,
really upset. I wouldn't have handled it like she did.
I wouldn't have handled it that way either, but I also would have been mad that I like put on makeup and an outfit.
Yeah, hell yeah. I would be
Yeah.
pissed off about that. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Mm.
Mm.
So let's go now to my friend Susan, New York City.
Mm-hmm.
She is meeting Mauricio down at the bar. And she's excited to see him again, she says.
Yeah.
So she says bye to little Moo Moo in the room.
Yep.
She's got this nice room now with like a kitchen and a sitting
I
area.
saw.
And she's in a fancy room now. And so she says, bye, little Moo, kiss.
Yeah.
And she says, it's all good with Mauricio. He doesn't speak English. I speak Italian. So like between the two of us, we can communicate, but it's a little hard.
Right.
And I don't know if Italian is close to Spanish, but
Obviously, it is after this episode because they were able to communicate pretty well.
yeah, it seems like
I never
yeah.
knew. Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked it. So they get down there and he's like sketching on the table, and he tells her they were going to go to the art gallery, but of
Mhm.
course it's raining now. So he brought the art to her, and he's showing her some of his stuff, and she's like, "Wow, you're so talented." And he says, "Now you can draw." So he's trying to
Mhm.
show her like start with the circle, and she's like, "Oh gosh, this is." So probably he was trying to like basically show her some things, but we didn't get to see all of it. We just saw like a little
Right.
of it,
Mhm.
because it seemed like they were sitting there for a while. And we see him in his ITM, and he says, I decided to go on a second date with her because she's an interesting girl, and I felt a connection with her.
Mhm.
And then at the table, they're drawing, and he's, referring to the drawing, he's saying like light and shadow. And he says,
Right.
we all have light and shadow. So what is your light? And
Mhm.
she goes, you ask great questions. Like,
Yeah.
wow. So she starts to think about it, and she says, I guess my light is Calliope
Yeah.
and my dad. And he goes, oh, not your mother? And she goes, yes, but it's difficult. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I hope your mom doesn't see this. She's going to have her feelings hurt.
And I kind of wanted more details on why that relationship is a tad bit strained. Like, tell us more.
She and I talked about that because we were talking about, I don't know how we got on the topic, but she was saying like she'd just flown back from seeing her mother, I guess, in Texas. And she said, I don't know where in Texas. And she said that her mom, was like, oh, you shouldn't wear shorts, that skirt, at your age and
Oh.
stuff like that. So maybe
Okay.
it's a Southern mom thing of like, why aren't you married? And, like that thing,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
So he says, do you have a picture? So she pulls up, looks like an old family picture of like when she
Yeah.
was little. And he's like, oh, that's really cute. And she says her brother. And he says, your brother, he's married, has a daughter, has a son. And she says, oh, he has a daughter, right?
It's
No,
a son.
son.
I think
It's a
he
son.
asked, was it a daughter? But it's a son. Yeah.
Yeah. And he says, but you don't.
Hmm.
And she says, no. And then she says, she said, she says I couldn't have children or I didn't
Right.
have children.
She said she couldn't have kids.
Yeah. And she said,
Yeah.
but, I have Calliope, and that really
Right.
fills the void, which, we know the animals can really,
They do. Big time.
really do that.
Yeah.
And he says, okay. And then she tells us, like, I don't normally go into this stuff on a second date or whatever,
Second
but it
date.
just seemed like a natural flow of conversation. It
It
didn't seem
did.
like he wasn't being judgy or weird or anything.
Hmm.
And
But
he
it's
says,
it's a logical question. I mean, when you meet someone, you do say, "Do you have kids?" It's just something that we do. People
yeah,
ask, you know.
because he's about her same age and he has a kid.
Right.
So he's like, do you have a daughter that's like, a grown up kid is what he's thinking.
Right.
So he says he has a daughter who I think he says 24, and she
Hmm.
lives in New York City, of course, which is where
Right.
she lives. And he goes once or twice a year. And she goes, oh, well, you'll have to let me, go to show you around or whatever. And he says, yes,
Right.
you could be my guide, to the art museum. She's like, oh, I would love that. And so then she says, he's handsome and talented and my age. And
Mm-hmm.
Juan finally got it right. Juan finally got it in the right lane. I'm so grateful. And Juan redeemed himself a little bit. And I have
Yeah.
hope. I have hope. So this is why I think the date must have lasted a lot longer, because all of a sudden now they're walking to the elevator. Like that wasn't it, that 10 minutes. I think they
Yeah.
sat there for a long time. And they gave a little awkward, like they're trying to like do the side kiss, but they kissed on the
Kiss.
lips kind of
Yeah.
accidentally. Yeah. And he gives her a little kiss and sticks her hand in the elevator, and she jumps in. It's like, bye. And he says he would like to see her again, and she agrees. And then he gets in an elevator. I was like, is he staying in the hotel or is he going to the bottom floor? Like, what's happening? Is he going up to her room? Like,
Well, I was wondering, that's what I immediately thought. I was like, wait a
mm,
minute. Is he going
mm.
up to her room? But I'm like, no, I guess. So was the restaurant where they were at like not on the ground floor? Oh, it was
Must have
very
been.
confusing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because he stood there staring at the elevator for a while. And we
Hmm.
were like, why? What?
Why is he doing that?
It was weird editing.
It
We could have
was.
used that bit of editing to show us more of what happened at the table.
That would have been great.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, high hopes for Susan. I might DM her and see if she's still talking to this guy, because he was cute.
He was cute. He was nice. He was artistic. I thought he
Here's
was great.
I don't enjoy a neck tattoo, but
I've never dated anyone with a neck tattoo, but I
yeah.
mean, you just can't meet my parents with that neck tattoo, but we can most definitely date. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Yeah.
hmm
Well, when I see neck tattoo, I think no job.
right. I
Hmm.
think you've been in prison. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. That's
And
true
maybe you
too.
ran out of space, so you went up on the neck.
Yeah, that's a good point. So
Do
you're an
you
ex-con
remember?
with no job.
Right. Do you remember when Montana Mills went to that guy's like janky recording studio, like above
Yes.
his mom's garage? He was like stepping over
Hmm.
toys, and that guy
Yeah.
had just like a random huge face tattoo,
Yeah. I
but he
think
had
that's crazy.
his neck, arms, everything weren't tattooed. I was like, it wasn't like you ran out of space like Travis
Yeah.
Barker and you had to go up on the face.
Yeah.
There's
He
lots of
just wanted on the
space.
face. His mother probably smacked him around after he came home with that. Cause that's
I
just crazy
mean,
to me.
I know.
I mean, you should be able to get a tattoo wherever you want to, but I mean, some
Yes, of course.
jobs you just can't have visible tattoo. I mean, for example, when I was a social worker in the schools, all of my tattoos can be covered up easily with a
With
bracelet
with
or
clothes with
with
the
the
bracelet.
clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that, because you can't walk around the school with, I mean, a tattoo of tits on your face. You just can't do that.
Is that your next tattoo? Tits on your face?
It might be.
Don't mind the tits on my face. Now tell me about your child.
Right? Your kid needs help, and so do you. I'm here to problem solve. Yeah. So I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know.
Keisha. Now, Keisha, why did you stop being a social worker in the schools? Because I bet you were really good at that.
It was when I got diagnosed with lupus, and
Hmm
James was like, "Look, it was time for us to go back to school." And he's
hmm
like, "Look, we don't know about this disease. I don't want you to go back." I'm like, "Are you sure? Because I've already got a box packed." So which he was absolutely right, because 3 months later I was in the hospital for a week, full blown diabetes, and it was
Mm,
the next 2 years were horrible,
yeah.
horrible, horrible, horrible. So yeah, I think about going back all the time, but this podcasting gig ain't bad.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I just see you being like really empathetic and sweet at that job.
yeah, but I would bring it home. Like I brought home a kid. So yeah,
Oh, well,
I
I
was
could
one of
see you doing
those.
that. I could see you doing that too.
And
Yeah.
I most definitely did that. So that's when you kind of have gone too far with it, because you're not
Yeah.
supposed to. But I did it anyway, because I'm a
Y-
rule breaker, as you guys
y-
probably know.
You got to keep that separate. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
hard.
it's
I bet that's
hard.
hard.
It's
Hard. Because it's kids.
exactly. It's very
It's
hard.
just like you with animals. Yeah. Same.
Um,
Same.
yeah, before we were recording, Liam, my cat, was in my lap licking off my lip gloss.
Mm.
And
That's what
James is like, "That is so disgusting. Why are you letting him do that?" I'm like, "Because it tastes good to him. Leave him alone." Yeah.
This is what every night, like I will put on like lotion on my hands and on my face and stuff and
Mhm.
get in the bed. And Ginger, it's like a siren call to her. She's wherever she is like, dump, dump, dump. She jumps up on the bed and stands on top of my chest. This is a
And
dog
yeah.
and stands on, and this, and gets her face up in my, and I'm like, stop. And I'm like batting her away. And
Yeah.
I was like, I just put all this expensive crap on my face to make me look younger. Stop licking it off. Come
That's
on
Marvel
now.
the dog. When I use that Vaseline oil on my skin, on my legs,
Yes.
and here he comes. He's got to lick it all off. I'm like, this stuff cannot taste good. It doesn't even
And
have a scent to it,
it can't
but
be
he
good
loves
for
it.
you. Can't be good for you.
Maybe it helps him poop better. I don't know, but he loves the stuff. And
And
we just let him do it.
he's still with us, so he's still
Marvel's
with
good.
us.
Sushi's the
Okay.
old one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is going to be 14 this year, and he ain't slowing down at all.
So she's the one that bites James every day.
He tore his ass up earlier today. Yeah. 'Cause I'm going to have to record one of the fights. It's a fight at least twice a day. Like he whooped James's ass earlier today because James was putting him outside to go use the restroom.
Oh my! Oh, it's so funny to me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go on to Stanika, and I don't know what's happening here. Okay.
A lot.
Yeah, I saw some. I saw some kind of
Yeah.
sassy comments she was making on the internet this week. Yeah.
What'd she say? What'd she say? I didn't like
Mm,
her this episode. There was something about her. I'm not feeling her quite like I was once upon a time.
Well, now that I know from some other cast members that she's been like being being ugly to them on social media, it kind of makes me, come on now, girl, don't do that. Be
But
one with your cast.
yeah, like y'all haven't even met. Like what can you say about these people? I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
ugh.
she's in this Facebook group, this Match Me Abroad Facebook group that somehow
Oh.
I'm in as well. And I really don't even know how, but I am. And she's in it, and somebody posted in there something about when she went to the store to buy that fabric
Mhm.
and said, I wonder if Sanika bought that fabric or if he bought it for her to present as a gift. And
We
she
all
said, well,
wondered that.
and she said, when I looked back at it, I saw that I was carrying my my little purse or whatever, and I never carried that with me unless I knew I was going to buy something. I would leave it in the safe. So
Mhm.
I couldn't remember, but yeah, I guess I did buy it. And then she kind of referenced, like, of course, if I was with him, I was buying everything because he didn't. You know, she indicated that he didn't buy anything. Yeah,
Oh no, Nordine?
yeah, yeah.
Oh. Okay, that's new information right there.
But she was getting real sassy in that Facebook group. So
I got to join it now because I got to see the
yeah,
drama.
yeah.
Mm.
I'll see if I can find it when we get done with this, and I'll send you a
Okay,
link.
cool. Okay.
All right. So Sadiqa's trying to get dressed in her hotel room. She's trying to get her pants on. She's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. A lot of couscous.
I felt that right there. Like that's that vacation food right there. Yeah.
Yes, I felt that too. A lot of couscous. It
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yeah.
So he comes to pick her up and says, listen, and he's in like a traditional outfit. He looks really
Mhm.
nice. And he says, it's important for the family to like you,
Mhm.
and they're going to tell me what to do. So she's like, all
Mhm.
right. And so she says, oh, immediately starts with like, I'm so hot. It's so hot here today.
Yeah.
Like I should have worn like a flowy dress, but I wore these pants. So
She should have. She looked all business casual, like she was going to
I
like
know.
a meeting or something like that. And,
She had been wearing a
yeah.
dress every other to those flowy dresses, which are the
Yes, she
best.
has. And then she got a wig on top of her head. I bet she was really hot.
Really
That's too
hot.
much. Yeah.
So he says, yeah, I didn't tell my mother about the surprise gift that you're going to give her. I want for you to make a good impression. So I didn't tell her. So it'll be like a surprise gift. She'll think you did it, whatever. And she's like, okay, great. She's like, I'm excited, but like, I'm nervous to meet the family. Like I've
Hmm.
certainly never even been on a date, much less like met somebody's family. Right.
Right.
So they go into the house, and I want somebody to tell me about the Moroccan culture and what it is about the little doors,
Right.
because it's so interesting to me because we've been explained about what the houses are called, and they have the inward facing courtyard, and so
Yes.
on the street it looks like just a door, and then it's an inward facing, and the rooms are all in a circle. So I get that, and I think that's super cool. But and it's protect from the heat or whatever.
Right.
But why are the doors little? Why
I
aren't they
don't
like
know.
why aren't they even like 6 feet tall, even like a short door, but like for a
I
normal
don't
sized person to
know.
go through?
I don't
Okay, so
know.
Somebody's going to have to tell me.
Someone tell us. We need to know.
So they go in, and his brother Yosef is there. Now the mom comes in, and her name is Malika, and she thanks Sanika and Malika, and she thanks
Right.
Sanika for the beautiful fabric, and she really likes it. At first, she kind of,
Yeah,
and then she like opens it. She really likes it. Now
she did.
Sanika just starts doing the most. She's like,
She
"You gotta
did.
put a little sparkle on it. You gotta put a little stink on it. Yeah, woo."
It sounded like a total country bumpkin while you're trying to
Yes.
impress his mom, who doesn't even understand what the hell you're saying anyway. Yeah, she was doing the most.
Yeah, she did get real country real fast. And
Real fast.
now the aunt comes in and she meets her, and they're like, and the brother's saying he can translate and everything. And Sneaka says, "I'm gonna try to talk slow now." And he's like, "Well, she has this Mississippi accent and it's hard to understand." And I was like, "Oh God." So Yosef outside tells us that Noradine is not a traditional guy when it comes to the Moroccan culture, and he
Yeah.
does go against a lot of traditions, and he's the only one in the family that's not married.
I wasn't surprised to hear that he goes against a lot of the traditions because he just his swag just, I'm like, he's not a rule follower. He's a little
But
bit
I
different.
liked it. I liked it because it's not like he told her all of that, and then he's
True.
going to try to change her, and he is going to be like, "I'm
Yes.
traditional, and I don't want the man and the woman to be equal," or whatever he is. I like that his brother was like, he's always been like this. He's always been
Right.
not traditional. So
This is who he really is.
yeah, I like that. So a cousin comes in. Her name is Assia, Asya. She was 12. And so she comes and she's like, "Oh, she's 12." And she's like, "Well, you're tall for 12. Hey, girl." I was like, "Stanika." I
She was annoying.
was like,
Very annoying.
don't comment on that poor girl's height. She's probably so paranoid. Or maybe
Well,
she's
she didn't
not.
want to
Maybe.
sit by Stanika at first. Her dad had to say, go over, scoot over some more.
Oh, so they're talking about how hot it is. And she's like, "I don't know why I wore this. I've been wearing a dress every day. I wish I would have wore a cooler dress like y'all did." And the mom says, "Do you want to change into one of mine?"
Right?
Which I could not believe that. And she was like, "Yes, girl." She hops
I
right
was,
up.
I think she was really, okay. How hot would you have to be to say yes to a stranger that you just met to go put their clothes on? I think she was really hot.
I
It
think she
looked
was,
hot in there.
yeah, and everything, all those dresses and stuff seemed to all kind of like be one piece of like caftan, one size fits all.
Right.
And she had on pants, a tank top,
Yep.
and like a blazer
A
and a
blazer.
belt. She
And a
had to be
wig.
hot.
And a wig.
And a
Like,
wig.
yeah, because sometimes you just got to snatch the wig off because you can't cool off. And she just snatched it off.
I
But she
wonder
didn't need to do
about that
there.
a lot of times about people that wear wigs, and if you're
Mm,
going through menopause and you're hot and sweaty,
it's hard.
like it's how awful it is because you're even hotter when you can't
With the
vent through your
yeah.
head.
Yeah,
It's
trust
gotta
me,
be
as soon
hot.
as those women get home, they snatch that wig right off their heads. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they would just always be wearing braids, so at least their hair would be, or
Yes.
or
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
I
majority of
don't
the
know.
time they're in cornrows underneath the wig.
Yeah,
Some people just, it's just
wear a
their
wig and
natural
get
hair.
hot. Yeah, or they go
They
natural hair.
snatch.
Yes, but
Yeah. I've seen a bitch take her wig off in the car. That bitch was me. 'Cause it was hot. You just get to the point you just don't care anymore. It's like, I cannot live this way. I will be cute tomorrow, but not today. Yeah.
oh, that is
I
so
get it.
funny. Well, Stanika is not menopause age yet, so she doesn't have to worry about
Yeah.
it. But I was thinking
She's just hot.
she had to be hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she goes and changes into a caftan, and she's like, "That made me feel really welcome, like because they're giving me
Mm.
literally the clothes off their back." And
Yeah. Which was
she,
nice
yeah,
of them.
she went to a back bedroom. There was some twin beds back there, look real cute. So they bring out tons of food, and oh my gosh, didn't that food
It
look
looked
good?
so good.
It
Yes,
looked
it
so
did.
good.
Yeah.
So they bring out all this food. This week also on before the 90 days, Riley is over in Vietnam and goes over to Violet's family home, and they bring out all this Vietnamese food, and
And it
oh my
looked
God,
so
it looked
good.
so good.
Yeah.
So all right, so they bring out all this food, and his talking head outside, he goes, "Listen, I've told her all the rules, and I think she's
Hmm.
smart, and she can follow them, and so she knows, all the way to act in the Moroccan home, and I think everything's going to be fine. She's doing great. She's smart." Well,
He should have knocked on wood after he said that because
they bring out this milk. Okay, so they're
Oh
pouring
boy.
it, and she goes, "Milk," and he says, "Yeah," and he says, "What it is you shake the milk to get the butter, and this is what comes off the top. It's the skimmed milk." So she goes, "Oh, okay, it's skim milk," but she says she can smell it from across the room,
Oh boy.
and she goes, "So so in her mind, she's skim milk like what we get at the grocery store, like
Right.
0% or whatever." And he
Yeah.
goes, "Right," and she goes, Okay," and so they're all staring at her, and Nordine's like, "Just try it. You should just try it.
Oh
You should just
God.
try it." And she goes, "Yeah, I think at home that this is not what we drink."
Yeah. I
Mm.
think she said this is what we throw out. Did she
Yeah,
say that?
yeah, she said it stinks. So, but they're pouring it, and he goes, "Yeah, this we don't waste it. This is the part when you use one part for butter, then you use this other part is the runoff that you use for this that wasn't used for butter." And she's like,
Mary Hank, I couldn't have done that.
"Okay."
I could not. I can't even drink regular milk.
Some people just can't drink milk, and I haven't drank milk in a long time, but I can drink it in some
Yeah.
cereal or whatever. I can. Some people just can't drink it. It's just like a thing.
I it just would mess up my stomach, I think. Like
I
I
would.
felt
Oh,
bad for her in that situation because that was uncomfortable. Like
I would have claimed a dairy allergy so quick.
immediately.
Yes,
Immediately. Yes. I'm like, "Oh no, because I'm going to be in the bathroom for the rest of the day and that's
I
not
wouldn't.
cute at all."
I wouldn't have even wanted to pretend to taste it, but she had to because he had already given her all the rules about how not to be rude in the home, right?
But how but what if it's something you really cannot eat or drink? I mean, what are you supposed to do? What is she supposed to do in that situation?
What I'm hoping is next week she's going to say, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, like I'm lactose intolerant, like I'm allergic to this or whatever." But she already
But
put it to her
it's
lips.
Tanika, and it
Yeah.
made a stank face, so
Yeah,
oh boy.
she says, she goes, "Yeah, I can't drink this." And then she says, "I hope the spoiled milk, this
Oh.
stinky, disgusting milk, is not what's going to ruin this whole relationship." But there is no way.
And it was a lot in that glass. I'm like, "Oh, man, this is bad."
And the thing is that in their culture, we always see this. They have made this huge meal as a welcoming gesture in their culture, and
Right.
they bring out all this food, which is so gracious and so welcoming. And this could
Yeah.
have been like, "We don't do this for everybody. We're just doing it because you're a special guest in our home, and we've
Right.
cooked for 2 days for you. And
Right.
also, we've saved our best rotten milk for you as well." And then turns her. It's probably considered to be extremely rude if she won't even. I think she should have been like,
I
"Can I get a glass of water?" Yeah,
or where's that Moroccan tea that I've been drinking all this time? I would love some of that.
I
Oh.
know. 'Cause that water
Okay,
is boiled.
I
Yeah.
I felt a little bit bad for her because I can't drink something that look, if I can't drink it, I just can't drink it. I can't fake it. I can't try some people gulp it down. Would throw up. I can't do it. But
It's
I
just
also
like
wouldn't say
on
that it stinks.
but I don't know if you ever watched that Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip 3, the one that was in Thailand?
I think I stopped right before the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay, well, on one of the first episodes, they had a not like a truth or dare, but like truth or whatever, and if you didn't
Mhm.
choose to do the truth, you had to eat a scorpion.
Yes. Yes. I can't do that.
And they were all just like, "All right, I'll eat the scorpion." I was like, "Who
No.
are these women? What?"
It wasn't very Potomac of them at all. I'll say that. I don't know.
Ca-
I
Yeah,
couldn't have
they were
done
all
it.
like, "I'll just eat the scorpion." I was like, "Are they made of chocolate? What do you mean you're going to eat that
Is it
scorpion?"
and we're gonna dip it in cheese or dip it in some barbecue sauce? I need options. Like I could not have done it. I seriously would have to throw up. I know
I,
me. I know my stomach.
yeah, so listen, I didn't like how she was kind of making a stank face and kind of doing the
No, that
most
was
and
rude.
and kind
Yeah,
of being over the top. But I think that I wouldn't have been able to drink it either. And I don't know
me
what
neither.
I
No,
just she should have just immediately been like, "I have a lactose intolerance. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you I can't eat dairy."
right.
And then he'd be like, "What about when we went on that date and you ate all that cheese?" She was like, "Well, I just found this out yesterday.
You want
Forgot
to
to
see
tell
my
you.
paperwork from the doctor?
My lab work just came back while I've been here in Morocco." Um, All right, so that is the end of the show, but we do get next time on Match Me Abroad.
hmm
Susan tells Juan how much she really liked Mauricio, and he got it right. And Juan's like, "Yeah, You've changed.
Mhm.
You've changed. And she's like, I haven't changed. You just finally set me up with somebody that I asked you to.
Mhm.
So she's not going to concede that she changed. And
Not at all.
I said, Stanika is rude about the milk. That was my note.
Oh,
Stanika's
boy.
rude about the milk. And
She
then
was.
she gets the brother, ask mom how she feels about me. And I was like,
Okay, Harold, like, what is with these questions? Like, no, I don't want to know if she likes me or not until after I leave and you tell me in the comfort of somewhere just between the two of us. Like,
I know.
that is so weird.
Don't talk about me in front of my
No.
face. Do it behind my back like a normal person.
The natural way, yes.
Come on.
I don't know.
So Chad goes on a date with the super hot girl, and he said he's never been out with a girl
Mhm.
this hot in his entire life. And he says, what do you do for fun? She goes, oh, I like to go dancing. I like to go clubbing, go out to party, to drinking. And he says, well, on Sundays, I go to church.
Oh, God, Chad, come on. So at
Okay,
least to
so
say you go ride horses or something cool, you know?
I got to mow my grass on Saturday. So a Bunkie wrote who said they are either from Pleasant View, Tennessee, where he's from, or like from the next town over, and said it is not this podunk hick town. Like, people don't talk like that from there. Like, unless he is just from the backwoods, like they don't know where he came from. They think he is just like a super exaggerated version of what would be from Pleasant View, Tennessee.
He's got to
Yeah,
be backwoods then, because
yeah. I think he just
it
had
is
never
not
gone
fake.
anywhere.
He's
No,
not very cultured, that's for sure.
he said he'd never been on an airplane at all, much less to
That's right.
go international. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
I bet he eats at the same place every day if he doesn't
Hmm.
eat with his mom. Same bar, same seat every time he goes to the bar. He
Yeah,
doesn't even have to look at the menu.
yeah.
He's like that, I think.
So, Huda and Mark go on another date, and it kind of feels
Mhm.
like there's a little spark, and they
Right.
both are kind of feeling it, and they're kind of
Mhm.
joking with each other in the car. And now we see him sitting by a pool, and she says, "So with the matchmaker, like, are you meeting other people while you're here?" And he says,
Right.
"Oh, I think Nina said there's one more girl I'm supposed to meet." And she goes, "I'm going to tell you something. If you go out with anybody else after me, don't call me again."
I thought
He
that
was
was a bit much.
well. Is it a cultural thing? Like, we don't date around. Like, if we're dating, we're dating. You're not also dating other people.
But she knows he's there with the matchmaker.
Right. Well, now she thinks the match has been made, so he's done. Yeah, I don't
I guess
know.
we'll see.
It could have been taken out of context. They could have tricked us. I don't know.
Probably that's the situation. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm hoping that this next scene was a tricky situation. But we see Harold in a jewelry store with Katerina, and he says he wants to buy a ring for
Mm-mm.
Michaela. He wants to propose to her. And Katerina's like,
No.
nobody has ever done this fast. And she tells him, Harold, you barely know each other. You cannot do this.
Oh
So
boy.
I'm hoping it's a tricky editing thing to make us think that he's going to screw it up. But I'm hoping Katerina's going to, like, he likes it if you just speak to him plainly. And I hope
Yeah.
Katerina speaks to him plainly and says, you don't know each other enough to do this. Why don't you buy her a bracelet or a necklace or bring her a gift,
Exactly.
but not an engagement
Yeah.
ring
Because
to
he's
show
thinking
that you're
engagement
serious?
ring.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah.
He-
Oh,
You,
Harold.
you can't go to another country, date people, think that person's a match, and get engaged all in 2 weeks.
Like,
He has to
no.
plan another trip to go see her.
They probably don't even know each other's last names.
He thinks her last name is Lovely.
I did correct it. Yes, he does know her last name. So I guess we'll see. I'm scared about that one.
Oh my goodness. Well, that brings us to the end of Match Me Abroad, episode 9. Keisha, what's happening over on the Libra Lounge with Keisha podcast?
Um, let's see. I think we're going to be covering. There's new Kim and Croy news. There's more Kardashian news. We're going to be talking about this new pageant that happened, and the first transgender woman has won the title. There's a
Wow.
ton of controversy about it. A lot,
Oh.
especially from women. So yeah, it's a hot topic, and we're gonna get ready to wrap up Mama June, which means Love After Lockup is coming on soon.
Oh, I'm so
Yes.
excited. Yes.
Me too.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Even my mom said, "Man, I'm ready for that mess to come back on. I'm like, yeah, we are too. I'm like, the 24th. She goes, all right. She's excited too. So yeah.
Um, the Kim and Croy news, I can't even keep up, and I'm annoyed now at this point.
Oh yeah, I keep up with it all day, every day.
So
It is
now
like a big
they've
thing.
decided they hate each other and they're going to call the cops on each other and file restraining orders and run to see who can file for divorce first, each claiming all sorts of bullshit and wanting full custody. And now everything's fine and they're going to get back together.
Because they played us for pickles. That's my new saying. Played us for pickles. That's what they have done. Yes. It was all a scam. I said it from the very beginning. I'm like, this is a scam. But the more intense it got, you kind of believed it. And then all of a sudden, they are back trying to work on their marriage.
How is it a scam when they are calling the police and whatnot, when their kids are right there? And he's
I
saying
don't put anything past them.
she hit me in the back of the head. And like he wants to file this domestic thing against her. And the kids are, and in the police report, it says the minor children are standing right there.
I don't think they care. And rumor is that they're supposed to be going on marriage boot camp.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So there you go. They're trying to get back on TV. They need the money.
I mean, they could have gotten back on TV without doing all that. For sure.
But look at how much publicity they've gotten. A shit
So
ton.
mad.
More than
I'm
they
so
were
mad.
getting. I know. It's
I'm real
annoying.
mad about it. It's real
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah. So
All
that
right.
it?
Well, if you guys want to hear Keisha talk about that, go over and listen to her podcast, The Libra Lounge with Keisha. And that's also where you can find her on Instagram. It's also where you can find me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. Please, I'm begging you to go over and follow me on Instagram. Just trying to get those numbers up, guys.
Yep.
Because I had this wonderful Amazon shop that I set up. And then they said I didn't have and then they said I didn't have enough social media followers.
No.
Yeah. And and Ingrid had to go find some paperwork about something yes. You guys, it's important. It is important.
It is
And
important. I don't think people know how important it is for us. It's a big deal.
And I don't know why it's important. And I fully understand as a 54-year-old woman that it is stupid. It is stupid. But the social media followers are important, and I'm not I'm not gonna pay $50 to buy 1,000 followers. I'm just not. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And it's tricky because the algorithms, I mean, everything, we have to hustle and bustle to keep those numbers up. You know what I mean? And
yes,
it's a lot. Yeah.
It is a lot. So help out Keisha. Help me out. Follow us on Instagram, please.
Yes.
And also, did you go ahead and sign up for that Threads thing? I don't know.
I'm not doing that.
You're not?
I don't even do the Twitter.
I know. Well, we signed up. It's there. So you guys, if you have anything to say, I don't know how it alerts me if I get a note. It's just there. I did look at it to see. It looks like a cleaner kind of a Twitter, not quite so jumbled, but it just seems to be it's everybody that you follow and they follow you on Instagram. I think you're automatically friends with them on Threads.
Okay.
So if you have a low Twitter number and a higher Instagram number, like that's better. I don't really know. I'm really just talking out of my ass. I don't even actually have a clue.
Well, when you find out, let me know, because I only heard about this like a couple of days ago. And I kept saying, why are people talking about Thread? Like, I'm thinking I thought
it meant like threads in your face, where you get like they thread your face and pull your face up like a facelift.
I thought they were talking about sewing. I was like, why are people? This is weird. Okay, now we know.
2 days ago or 3 days ago, my daughter walks through the kitchen and goes, "I'm sure you've heard about Threads." I go, "Oh yeah, a lot of people are doing it for their face." And she's like, "What?"
Look, we are women of a certain age. Like, there's just some things we don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I was just thinking about like a lower face. Like if you got some like some slaggy jaw, you get those threads. And she's like, "No, Mom, it's like a social media thing." I was like, "Who could keep up?
We can't
keep up." Oh my God.
Nope.
Anyway, we're on it. So friend me over there and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, make sure to follow us and we will talk to you next week with Match Me Abroad. Thanks, Keisha.
Bye.
Matchmaker,
Shit.
It cut off.
It cut off. There it goes.
Matchmaker, make me a match.
You got your phone out.
Find
I thought you were going to record me.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book.
Yeah, you know what? Next Sunday, put on makeup and stuff, and I'm going to record you doing that.
Bye, y'all.